How about we go back in a time machine and listen to the Democrat leader, Hakeem Jeffries. I'll read a quote from Hakeem Jeffries, and I quote, "We are here today to do a single job, and that should be to fund fully the Department of Homeland Security."
This sounds like a normal funding debate until Scalise brings up something that Jeffries has already said.
The distinguished gentleman from Louisiana is recognized for 1 minute.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank my friend from Minnesota for yielding and all the applause coming from the other side. Look, Mr. Speaker, I rise in strong support of this important bill to fund fully the Department of Homeland Security. You know, we've done this time and time again, at least in the House. This will mark tonight the 4th time that the House has voted to fully fund the Department of Homeland Security. And I know there's been a lot of back and forth in the Senate. And then at 3 in the morning, senators just decided, well, throw in the towel and maybe see what they can cobble together to get out of town. But, Mr. Speaker, we've got a job to do. Our job is to protect the American people, to do our job to keep them safe. And that's why we created this department. Not some of the department, not just pieces of the department, but the entire Department of Homeland Security. And I know the other side over and over again has wanted to go back to open borders. We're not going to go back to open borders. The American people don't want us to go back to open borders. They've seen the peril of that. We also, Mr. Speaker, cannot go back to a September 10th mentality, a pre-September 11th mentality where you just ignore the signs of the bad things that are happening in this country. We changed that after September 11th, and we vowed never forget, never let it happen again. And yet here we are. Some members want to get in a time machine, and they want to go back to another day where maybe America didn't have any attacks. Well, how about we go back in a time machine and listen to the Democrat leader, Hakeem Jeffries. I'll read a quote from Hakeem Jeffries, and I quote, "We are here today to do a single job, and that should be to fund fully the Department of Homeland Security. Anything else is an abdication of our responsibility. Anything else is an act of legislative malpractice. We're playing political games at a time when the safety and the security of the American people is being threatened." That was in 2015, Hakeem Jeffries.
The amount of receipts that are absolutely available for everyone to basically encounter here are insane. And watching them try to squirm out of these super principled points that they were making, just to basically appease the brand new progressive wing in the Democrat Party is absolutely sickening here.
Now, what's happened between now and then? Well, let me tell you, Mr. Speaker, this is not your father's Democrat Party anymore.
It's not.
You've seen how far the radical, crazy elements of the party have taken over and tried to bring it to this socialist mentality, this open borders mentality, this defund the police mentality. And yes, this bill absolutely defunds the police. You've got under this bill that came over from the Senate, even when you count in the working families tax cut that every Democrat voted against, even when you count that in, 6,700 people at the Department of Homeland Security will be defunded. That's right, defunded. Now, the American people rejected the defund the police movement. Just because it happened in the Senate at 3 in the morning doesn't mean nobody heard it. We did. We didn't just hear it, we read the bill. And we said, no, Mr. Speaker, that is not the responsible thing to do for this country. This country's counting on us. And by the way, it's at a time when we're at a heightened level of threat. If you're wondering what that heightened level is, I know there's some people that just want to go after police all the time. Why don't we just read a couple of the names that the other side doesn't want to read? Richard Williams, Mr. Speaker, 83-year-old U.S. Air Force veteran who was randomly shoved into a subway tracks by an illegal alien from Honduras, just died this week. We've all heard of Sheridan Gorman. Maybe not enough people, Mr. Speaker, have heard of Sheridan Gorman, but we're going to say her name again.
Go ahead.
A beautiful 18-year-old young girl from Loyola University in Chicago. A student who had the world before her, shot to death by, yes, an illegal alien from Venezuela who came over here under President Biden's open borders that the other side wants to take us back to. We are not going to do that. That surely is not the responsible thing to do. Stephanie Minter, a 41-year-old mother from Virginia, randomly stabbed to death by an illegal, yes, with a lengthy rap sheet with more than 30 prior charges.
Jeez,
how many
guys.
more of these do we have to have before some people will say, okay,
Enough.
maybe we need to fund this department? I don't think there's an endless list before. They just don't want to offend their radical base, Mr. Speaker.
That's all it is.
That's really who they're afraid of.
That's all it is.
Obviously, if they were concerned about all these
Re-election.
Americans over and over and over again, this is just in the last month, who have been killed by people here illegally, and they're going to go and defund almost 7,000 people at the department? That's insane. And oh, by the way, have we talked about the multiple terrorist attacks that have happened, yes, here on our homeland, not in foreign soil, here on our homeland just in the last month? And they want to partially defund this agency. With this bill and the Working Families tax cut, still over 10% of the whole agency will be defunded at a time when we're at a heightened terrorist threat. Could you imagine if you had a terrorist outside of your house and somebody said, well, we'll let you lock the front door, but we don't have time to lock the back door? You'd think that was crazy.
Yeah.
You'd lock the front door, the back door, the
Every
windows,
door.
and everything else, and you'd go get your shotgun. But yet they want to defund this agency and make our country vulnerable, make Americans less safe. I'm not going to have anything to do with that, Mr. Speaker. I want to fund the whole department. That's what this bill does. It pays everybody, pays the TSA agents as they should be, as Democrats have voted time and time again to not pay. We pay them, and it's not long-term. I wish it was. We've sent them a long-term bill. This is for a few months. We at least have time to keep negotiating our differences. These are big differences, but these are dangerous times in America. This is not the time to defund the police, to defund the Department of Homeland Security at any level. So, Mr. Speaker, I would urge everybody, vote for this bill. Let's do our job. We are here doing the right thing to keep America safe. Urge adoption, and I yield back the balance of my time.
Like, if you want to know how to engage in public speaking to a point where your point is heard loud and clear, this is probably a masterclass in this here. He did everything humanly possible to express to the public here that the majority of the people, mainly Hakeem Jeffries, and a lot of other, honestly, all of the elders, specifically in the Democrat Party, that are in Congress or in the Senate or have a microphone, have all once stated the importance specifically of having a southern border. They all have. They have all spoken about like being in support of ICE because Barack Obama, their Lord and Savior for the most part here, right? Known as a deporter in chief, yeah? Deported so many people that they had to basically back him blindly. The Democrat Party actually were moderately viable, I would say here. There were some slight differences, but for the most part, we all had a path forward for our country. And then once you started allowing the absolute nut jobs to come into the mixture here, and then you then pushed their overall ideology to the masses to make it so if you go against my ideology, you are morally, ethically wrong here. Basically the moral police, the morally superior bunch, let's just say this here. By doing this, what do you think was going to happen here, guys? We're just watching our country get weaker by the day for the sake of appeasing a bunch of people who really truthfully do not even like America if you listen to them long enough, guys, right? They want to change every single thing about what made the United States of America the United States of America. It's hard to encounter. Is it every single Democrat out there? Absolutely not. It's not here. But all Democrats, for the most part, are courting that one singular subsection of the party that is absolutely Mamdani, that is absolutely AOC, Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar. absolutely that bunch of, hey, no one should have anything. Everyone should be equal in terms of like finances and things like this. Those type of people, while preaching that everyone should be equal while they hoard millions upon millions of dollars and utilize a tax code like every other millionaire does, right? Interesting how that works here, right? I guess keep making your money while America basically turns into what America is turning into, because we can no longer sit at a table any longer, because nothing that's happening is even logical any longer, guys. Like, how do you logic your way out of the situation that the United States of America is in when you have disingenuous people just fighting to basically stay relevant? So they're just agreeing with these absolute crazies so they can stay relevant and in power, and then scream out loud how they love the United States of America, but then hate it at the same time. This is just incredibly, incredibly tiring to even encounter anymore, bro. Say what you mean the first time. Don't just pivot. Listen, I understand with new information, everyone has the ability to basically pivot. I do this all the time here. Like, logic does not leave. It's not gone. It doesn't go. The logic you once had in the 90s, bro, I would listen to some of these people speak, right? I do not care about the emotionality of the situation. I don't care. What is a country without a border? Not a country. Right? It's an unincorporated place. Let's just say that. Let's call it that here. The United States of America needs to be maintained as what it has been for the last multiple hundreds of years. The only way we can get ourselves out of this is to stop allowing foreign influences to basically dictate what we're doing. Understand that here. Get money out of politics, number 2 here. And number 3, get back to the idea of what is true because it's true. Not it's true because it makes me feel good. I'm going to back a cause because it makes me feel good, rather than it is absolutely correct to maintain our country so we can have something for our grandkids. A country without a border is not a country. These contradictions are absolutely absurd, bros. All right. It like ruffles my feathers in a way that is absolutely frustrating. But all right, listen, guys, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. I'm sure there's going to be more coming from this hearing. And you guys are sending me a lot of these, so we'll probably check out the rest of it most probably here. But in the meantime, listen, if you guys are new here, please like and subscribe. This is what we do here, guys, right? And definitely go ahead and watch the next videos. They'll be popping up on the screen somewhere.